It is February, and today we're asking Africa-Europe, what partnership now in the century of change?
I still think that history, geographical proximity, and their respective interests make Africa and Europe predestined partners in this century of change. I think we should adopt on both continents new attitudes towards each other. Europe should stop paternalizing Africa and view it as a political subject with own identity and own interests. Europe should learn about African institutions, visions, options. It should acknowledge the legacies of colonialism and be curious about the present situation. Many young Africans assert themselves in a new way. It is good to have self-confident partners. They are more reliable. Europe should also realize that structural reforms are needed in Europe as well as in Africa. Africa will only come to better growth if there are structural changes in the economies in Europe. In Africa, I would like to see more leaders stop pointing fingers at Europe's faults and concentrate on their own responsibilities.
Both parties have something to offer on the table. They bring something very unique, and that is complementary in some cases to the table. So when we talk about this, and also going by the survey, survey by the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, or like the research as regards major issues like migration and mobility, you would also see that the narrative really, is not what we necessarily think. So from this, I would say that it should actually be a win-win situation. It should be a situation of a mutualism where each party highlights their needs and their unique strengths. And the other party is saying what exactly they can contribute and how they can synergize and have a win-win situation at the end of the day.
One thing I'm taking from this is that there are a lot of things that are already in place for a better partnership, a real partnership, a partnership of equal between Africa and Europe, so the African Union and the European Union. However, what I'm also hearing is that not a lot is actually being put in place, not a lot is actually respected, so that this partnership becomes a real partnership. And perhaps in another conversation, Mr. President, it will be interesting to discuss ways that we can make sure we enforce the theory, we put it into practice, because you're surrounded by young people, hopeful, who have seen your presidency. Well, I was very young when you were president, but I learned about it later. And you've done a great job in Germany. It's now our time. That's why we are called the Now Generation. And now we would like to put forward those theories that were started during your presidency and during the chancellery of Chancellor Merkel. Give us this opportunity, not just you, but you and African leaders. Thank you.
I think for me, the most, at least the point that I would like to leave with is using the green and energy transition as an example. We can already anticipate the world is going towards clean energy. We can see funds that are already being redirected towards clean energies. For me, I would like to see a Europe and an Africa partnership that already anticipates a world that's moving towards that direction, whereby we start looking at what international laws will need to change. How can the two continents work together as partners in institutions like the UN and the International Criminal Court to start changing some of those laws in anticipation for a world that's moving towards greener energies?
Yes, I think in this partnership that Europe and Africa wants to renew, let's put young people at the center of it. And this can come in terms of listening to more of our African young people and leaders. We have seen that in our continent, African leaders tend to ignore the African young people. But it has to also be placed as a condition from our European partners that, we are going to support projects that really have the young people at the center And I think this will be reflected in how the African countries or governments prepare for this partnership to take place.
I think my main point today is that we need to value what Africans produce. I think the word dignity comes to mind. It is the only way that we're going to achieve the kind of partnership that we're talking about. I think, President Cole, I'm really impressed with your trajectory and your commitment to Africa all over the years and the things that you have accomplished. And I think we are at a really important point in the development of the relationship between Africa and Europe. And in order to really take it to the next level, I think, as I mentioned, we need to value Africa's contribution to the world.